Here we go. Loyola Chicago, Oregon State tipping off the Sweet 16 on Saturday afternoon. The first game of a doubleheader on CBS. Then it's 1-seed Baylor facing 5-seed Villanova. Oral Roberts, the lowest seed remaining, looking to upset Arkansas. Two teams played against each other in December. Razorbacks rallied in that game, won by 11. Final game on Saturday features Houston against Syracuse. Perhaps Buddy Buckets can knock off the Cougars, who were able to survive against Rutgers in the round of 32. Break it down. Welcome to the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White and CBS Sports HQ college basketball analyst Matt Norlander, who joins us from Indianapolis. Start with the first game of the day on Saturday as the Pac-12 tournament champs Oregon State take on tournament darlings Loyola Chicago. Ramblers are 7-point favorites. The total's 125. Matt, I'll start with you. Does Sister Jean need to say another prayer to cover the spread here?
I'll start with you, Hakeem. It's wonderful to hear your voice again and a thrill to be back with you, buddy. I'm going to take Loyola Chicago to win this game and to cover. Oregon State's done a wonderful job to this point and certainly overshot expectations. Both these teams play slow. This is actually, I think this is a fairly tricky game in terms of the line because this is a slow tempo special. Because of that, I think there's a big temptation to take Oregon State, but Loyola Chicago is playing extremely well. I've talked to multiple coaches that have watched both these games and say, of all the teams that are in the Sweet 16, you can make the argument from a pure prep and execution standpoint, X's and O's, Loyola Chicago has played better through two games than anyone else still standing. I will ride with Porter Moser and those Ramblers who have proven this the entire season, whereas Oregon State has been hot recently. Give me Loyola.
Hey, man, I wish I was there in Indianapolis with you. Looks like it's going to be a fun time, a great tournament. So many upsets in the first couple of rounds. I'm not going to play a side here because Oregon State, they may have gotten hot win-wise straight up, but they've been hot covering spreads all year. 21-9 ATS this year. So Wayne Tinkle's done a great job. But Porter Moser's team, 19-9. Not bad covering ATS numbers. So you got two teams that can really cover. My number was Loyola 7. I think that's what they win by, but I'm glad you said it, the pace. Both teams very methodical on offense. I think this game goes under the 125.5. Loyola, that attention to detail on defense is unbelievable. What they did to the Illini was amazing. And now they're playing a team that is not quite as good offensively, who plays a slow pace. This is Loyola's pace. They're going to love it, and I think their defense is going to smother Oregon State. I think they'll cover the spread, too. I think Matt is on the right side. That's who I'd rather have, but I'm under the total here.
All right, Kenny's playing the total. Could be a grinded-out special, and anytime the Wizard finds an underplay, he plays it. You should play it as well. Elsewhere, the Orange, no stranger to weekend number 2 come tourney time, but this season, it did come as quite a surprise. Coach Boeheim making his 20th Sweet 16 appearance of his career, thanks in part to the lights-out shooting of his son, Buddy Boeheim. Come Saturday, Syracuse is catching 6.5 when they tip it up with 2-seed Houston. Total's coming in at 140.5. Kenny, what do you want to do with this one?
Yeah, well, Buddy Boeheim can really shoot the basketball. This Syracuse team is coming on at the right time. 6-0 ATS the last 6 games. I probably would have passed this game because it's close to the number, but I took a couple points off Houston for the main reason. DeJon Jarreau, not 100% with that hip injury. He really gutted it out against Rutgers, and I am amazed. I don't know how they won the game because Rutgers really outplayed them from start to finish. They got the win. I don't think they can do it here. I mean, they may win this game, but I think it's going to be very, very close. I think it's going to be right down to the wire. I think Syracuse's zone, the way it does every year, it continues to get better and better and better. And I think Houston will struggle with that zone a little bit. And I think Buddy Boeheim and the boys from Syracuse are going to make some threes to stay in this game.
I'm going to agree with Kenny here. I can't go against Syracuse again in this spot in terms of the spread. So Buddy Boeheim's been outrageously good. I actually do think that Houston is going to induce him into his worst performance of the tournament and one of his weaker performances of the past month. But that's not to say that I don't think he'll have a good game. I'm just not expecting 29 points on 58% shooting from Buddy Boeheim. For Houston, I'd keep an eye on certainly its offensive attack against the Syracuse zone, whether or not they're going to have a ton of success there. And then DeJon Jarreau, he's playing with a bad hip, and that's just going to be the state of things. I think this is going to be a close one, a grinder. We're going to start with a grinder on Saturday with Loyola Chicago, and then this one will wrap up the day. I think these will be the two ugliest, if you will, just in terms of styles of play games. I'll take the Orange to cover.
All right, 3 of the 4 1 seeds remain. Baylor's one of them, looking to remain in the big dance after facing Villanova. The Wildcats got here by beating 2 double-digit seeds in Winthrop and North Texas. Only have to lay 7.5 with the Bears. Matt, how confident are you in Scott Drew and Baylor to cover the number in this spot?
Pretty confident, Hakeem, but I also want to see, basically what a 2-time national championship winning coach can do in this spot. Villanova is outclassed at the guard spot in this game. There's no way around it. Spoke to multiple coaches familiar with both rosters. The key here is Jeremiah Robinson-Earl for Villanova and how much damage he can do after he had a really good opening weekend. But I will ride with Baylor. The defense seems to be rounding back into form. The offense is still tip-top shape. So I don't want to overthink this. I think this could be an entertaining game that is, within reach, certainly 5-6 points at halftime. But on the whole, I like Baylor to pull away late and get a double-digit win and move along to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, one of my best plays of the college basketball on Saturday will be from this game, but I'm also going to play this game over. I'll give you that one right now. Baylor's pace has been tremendous, get up and down. Their three-point shooting. Davion Butler. Wow, this guy can guard anybody on the court at 6'2". He is in your pocket. He's one of the best defensive players in the country. He may be the reason why Baylor ends up winning the national championship. He also shoots 46% from three-point range. Butler shoots 42%. Teague shoots 40%. And they've all made more than 58 three-pointers. They average more than 2+ per game. Making, not shooting, making. They make 2+ per game. This Baylor team completely impressed me against Wisconsin because I was a Wisconsin guy. I love the Badgers. But they dominated the Badgers from start to finish, and it was that smothering defense. And then you go and look at the metrics, and they're number 2 offensively in the country. Well, that matches up. They are that good. Defensively, 37. No, there's no chance. They are a top 5 defensive basketball team. They have the talent inside. They have the talent outside. They bring JTT in from UNLV. The big guy that mans the middle. Mark Vattel is an outstanding defensive player. And Matthew Mayer was great offensively and played solid defense. So this Baylor team is well-rounded, but their offense is great. Villanova, they want to play at a slow pace, but once they fall behind in this game, they're not going to be able to. They'll get their points because they're very efficient offensively. They look good beating number 92 Winthrop and number 83 North Texas. They're up against a different type of team in this one.
Kenny White giving you a play there and a deep tease to his all on the line play. A true professional. We will ask for his professional wisdom on this one as well. An attorney highlighted by a number of unexpected bells of the ball. The Cinderella tag should be assigned to none other than Oral Roberts. The Eagles on a 7-game heater, includes a buzzer beater, a conference title, wins over Ohio State and Florida. They're going to take on Woo Pig Sooie Saturday. Arkansas laying a hefty 11. Total here, hefty as well, ticking upwards of 158.5. Matt, Vegas expects points. What are you expecting in this one?
I'm expecting a compelling matchup, and I think I might be in the minority here. I have asked around, as always, in advance of these matchups what the expectation here is. I'm getting a lot of feedback that Arkansas is going to be able to win big and run away and pull away late here. But Oral Roberts has had 2 star mid-major players, Kevin O'Banner, Max Asmus, who have overshot expectations, continue to be extremely efficient players despite being the clear-cut number 1, number 2 on the scouting report. I think we're going to get a little bit more of that. Now, Arkansas is the better team. It's got a really good defense. Both these teams will want to run, and there is a chance this game could end, Arkansas 92, Oral Roberts 74. That's within realm, but I'm actually going to fade that, and I will say Oral Roberts will cover. We're going to have an intriguing game with 5 minutes to go. I certainly hope that's the case. I'm going to be in the building watching, so I prefer that to be the case here. Let's get a 15 to really make it interesting. So I will take Oral Roberts to cover here and Arkansas to win in a fairly fun, high-scoring affair that might be a little bit messy, but I think that's what ORU wants in this spot. Arkansas wins close.
Yeah, I like it, Matt. I think Oral Roberts gives them a game. And the reason why, Oral Roberts wasn't afraid to play anybody early in the season. One of the teams they played was Arkansas, 87-76. They lost by 11. Their leading scorer had a bad game that day and still led the country in scoring. There was 81 possessions in that basketball game. This is for much bigger stakes. But these 2 teams will not change how they play in this basketball game. It will be up-tempo, pressure, defense, and scoring. And I'm like the game over the total for that fact. The first game, as I mentioned, came 163. 81 possessions. I think this is going to be a lot the same, but I think it's going to go over that 163 as well. And I think Oral Roberts is in the game with 5 minutes to go, which will make it more compelling with fouls at the end of this basketball game, scores, foul, back and forth. Really help this game go well over the total.
Kenny, do you want to call out Eric Musselman at all at this point? Would you like to do that?
Not me. I think he's done a great job. I think he's a really good coach.
I do too.
It's not me that's calling out Musselman. That's
I know.
Guy on
I'm seeing if you wanted to join in on the party. You're gonna pass on that. I think he's a fantastic college basketball coach. It's great in a polo too. Looks great in a polo. I love that. All right, let's get your very best wager for the games on Saturday. Any game, any side, any total. Matt, what's your tippy top wager for Saturday's Sweet 16 games?
This is listen. This is an absurd choice, I guess, but give me the Loyola Chicago Oregon State first half under.
Yes,
the under in the first half specifically. Yes, total. Whatever. Let's just roll with it, right? Because of the way both teams play, could be some nerves on both sides, just a little bit in that venue. I'm feeling as though, if I remember correctly, neither team has played in Bankers Life Fieldhouse where that game will be played. So some adjustments there. Rims are a little tighter. They play slow. So go with the first half under of the first game. Dive right into the shallow end of the pool, and we'll see how that works out.
Man, I love it. It's you can't lose in overtime when you're playing under in the first half, that's for sure. And I agree with you. It's going to be a slow game. Defensive is a plus. I'm also under in that game in the first half. But I'm going to go with Baylor. Number 2 in the country right now in Ken Pom. They're number 1 in the country in the KW ratings right now. I'm very impressed with this team offensively and defensively. I think they have everything it takes to be a national champion. Villanova came in, losing their top player, Colin Gillespie, is a shame because they could have been here in the same spot. Oh, they are here anyway. They did it without him, but they beat Winthrop number 92 and North Texas number 83. I faded them a couple games after Gillespie went out. I won with those 2 games, and I was actually on Villanova against Winthrop and North Texas. So I feel I got a very solid power rating on them. I have a 12-point difference now between Baylor and Villanova. I think the Bears' pressure is just way too much. Stepping up in class here for Villanova. They're well coached. But you know what? They're outmanned here, and it's going to be the Baylor Bears winning this one by double digits.
Love me some KW ratings. That is full-on preview right there from Kenny White, Matt Norlander. Guys, appreciate it. Look forward to watching the games with you guys as well. And here's a look back at their picks for Saturday's Sweet 16 games in Indianapolis. Matt likes Loyola Chicago to cover the 7. Kenny says play the under. Both on Syracuse. Buddy buckets. And Syracuse looking to get 6.5 points here. Perhaps pull off an upset against Houston, who barely survived against Rutgers. Baylor in the over. Oral Roberts and the over. And their best wager, Matt is getting super sneaky here. Going Oregon State, Loyola Chicago. First half under 57.5. That's likes Baylor as well.
That's a Hakeem Dermish play if I've ever seen one. Give me a first half under.
I like that.
And we'll make it a winner by halftime.
First game of the day. How about that? Sweet 16 tipping off on Saturday on CBS.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.